So, how does an AI figure out how to group similar things all on its own, without any help from us? It kind of seems like magic, right? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how it all works.
Okay, let's start with something super simple, something I bet we've all done. Just think back to when you were a kid. Do you ever find yourself sorting your toys?
You know, you'd put all your little cars in one box, and maybe all the dolls would go in another.
And then all the blocks in a totally separate pile? Well, guess what? Without even realizing it, by doing that, just grouping similar things, you were basically thinking just like an AI. Right. So this whole idea of sorting your, let's call them digital toys, is the perfect way to get into our first section. Because that simple act of sorting, that is exactly what AI does, and it's a process we call clustering. So at its core, clustering is just a machine learning method where the AI groups similar stuff together. But, and this is the really amazing part, it does all of this without being told the correct answers ahead of time. It has to figure out all the hidden patterns completely on its own.
So you gotta be asking, how in the world can an AI learn to group things without any help? Well, that brings us to a really key idea in this whole field, learning without a teacher.
And this is the perfect way to see the difference. On one hand, you have classification. That's where we act as the teacher, and we give the AI all the correct labels. But with clustering, we give it 0 labels, none at all. The AI is completely on its own to figure out what the groups even are.
And that right there, that whole idea of not having a teacher to give it the answers, that's exactly why we call this whole process unsupervised learning. The AI is literally learning with no human supervision.
Okay, let's try a different way of thinking about it. Imagine this. You give an AI just a huge pile of fruit pictures, but you don't name any of them. The AI might start looking at them and create its own groups. Maybe it makes one group for things that are small and round, then another group for things that are long and curved, and a third group for stuff that's also round, but, bigger. It's only after it's all done that we look at the piles and go, whoa, hey, it's found the grapes, the bananas, and the apples.
Okay, so we've got the what and the why down. But how does the AI actually find these groups? Let's dive into the mechanics a little bit.
Well, what it does is pretty cool. The AI basically takes every single item and plots it as a dot on a giant graph. From there, it's all about measuring the closeness between these dots. You see, items that are all bunched up together on the graph, yep, they get treated as a group. It's really just a kind of digital geometry. Now, the most popular way to do this is a method called k-means, and the process is actually surprisingly logical. So, step 1, this is the one part a human has to do. You have to tell the AI how many groups, that's the K, you're looking for. Once you do that, the AI takes over. Step 2, it just plops down some random center points on the graph. Then, step 3, it assigns every single data point to whichever center is closest. Step 4, and this is the really clever part, it moves each center point to the new middle of all the dots that were just assigned to it. And finally, step 5, it just repeats those last 2 steps again and again and again until the groups don't change anymore. It's pretty simple when you break it down, but it is incredibly powerful. All right, so this is a really neat concept, but where does this stuff actually show up? I think you'd be surprised just how much clustering you run into every single day. I mean, the applications are literally everywhere. It's how online stores figure out what kind of shopper you are. It's used in medical research to find patterns in patient data. It's even how your newsfeed is able to group a bunch of different articles about the same big story. Oh, you've for sure seen this one in action. An online store's AI notices, hey, there's a whole bunch of people, a cluster, who buy sports shoes and they also tend to buy gym equipment. Bam, that's clustering. Big companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they use this constantly to predict what you might be interested in next. And this technology isn't standing still. It's evolving super fast. So let's take a quick peek at where this whole world of sorting and clustering is headed. Yeah, things are moving really quickly. I mean, right now, we're seeing this hyper-personalized, AI-powered customer segmentation. Looking ahead, the next big thing is deep clustering, which uses even smarter AI to find patterns in messy stuff like images and audio. And then, just on the horizon, we've got real-time clustering. This is wild. It can analyze and group data the second it's created. Think about comments flooding in on a live video stream. So why does any of this matter? Well, because clustering is one of the most fundamental tools we have for making sense of our incredibly complex world. It helps us discover hidden patterns in everything, from how we shop to breakthroughs in science. Basically, it's how we find the real structure buried inside the chaos of all our data.
So, to wrap this all up, let's just circle right back to that simple definition from the beginning. What is clustering? It's just when an AI groups similar things together without us telling it the answers. You can think of it as a pure pattern-finding machine.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. If an AI can discover these hidden groups just by looking at data, what hidden groups do you and I belong to that we don't even know about?